не економлять, тут дуже холодно. А на вулиці тепліше набагато, ніж в Києві. Прям там сьогодні погана погода, а на вихідних то в футболках ходили і було комфортно, тепло. Ну і сам рівень матеріальної бази, бібліотека, там ці всі ресурси, вони просто вражають. Все зроблено дуже зручно, всі оці речі, які пов'язані з особливими потребами, навіть там меню складається так, що можна собі кожен інгредієнт насипати в салат, який саме ти хочеш, а не так, як тобі там заколотили на кухні, аж до таких дрібниць і деталей. Я чомусь не бачу цієї презентації. Вам видно, да?
Так.
Так.
So let's start. Today I want to speak of the subject, of the topic about the academic management in conditions of crisis on the Ukrainian case and example. As all of you know, the Ukraine now balanced between the European integration and the war threats and challenges between the lack of financial possibilities and the possibilities and desire to make a reform to be better, to integrate into the European society and values, to lower the level of different research activities. And for this reason, I want to speak about the Ukrainian case, how Ukraine develop the academic society for the way to integrate and to convert our threats to our opportunities and possibilities for all academic system and all the participants of educational process. First of all, I'd like to remind about the periods of the academic crisis. It starts from the 2014 when due to Crimea and Lugansk and Donetsk occupation, many higher education researchers institutions from the conflict zone have been relocated to other regions of Ukraine. Also, great contribution to our crisis is COVID restriction, which laid down some new challenges, including the digitalization of educational process and make it in a distance. Also, during the previous period from the 2014 to 2022, there was 18 universities who should occupied from their previous location and move to other regions. And these universities take 3,500 scientists and pedagogical workers, and it is about 30,000 students. So it's a great amount of people who should leave their contemporary places of living and move to other regions. Also, we can mention that current situation is rather worse than the previous because a larger territory have the same problems, and also according to as a result of full-scale invasion, we have new challenges and problems which are closely related with the wartime. According to the official information of Ministry of Education, almost 300 educational institution was totally destroyed, and about the more than 1,000 institution was damaged. In February 24, 2022, we start to new wave of migration process, and many high educational institutions should again remove from their previous places or prepare to the occupation and start the educational process. And the main questions after the beginning of full-scale invasion was how do the science and academic fare in the conditions of war. In the context of school war in Ukraine, began the struggle for survival in physical sense, not only the symbolic. Also, I'd like to mention that during the full-scale invasion, Russia has violated almost 400 international agreements. And for this moment, the most sources wasted to stop the war and to help our army to protect us. And according to the, again, official information, a lot of Ukrainian academic staff and students moved to other territories. For this reason, we have less students, and we should find other sources of financial support of all universities. As according to the key threats, we can find out 3 questions. First of all, how to ensure the ability and capacity of education as a social institution to function fully in the completely abnormal conditions of war, and how to avoid learning the social capital of the academic environment, and what to do with the loss of institutional resources. Again, the main task of new academic strategy, which laid down on many official strategic documents of CNEL, as in particular, it is converting threats to opportunities, being the ambassadors of cultural diplomacy, support and promotion of democratic and European values, preparing philosophical background for peace building, post-war reconstruction and rebuilding. And for academic survival, we can find some new challenges like the motivation of participants in the educational process, primary teaching staff and students, because for many of us, safety is a first priority, not the other one. Also, the threat of loss of human capital, uh, which remains too high and potentially increases with the prolongation of the duration of hostilities. Brain drain, which means that the most qualified, the best staff moved to other countries, European or American continent. Also, it is increasing the workload of the teaching staff who were forced to the work in both uh, synchronous and asynchronous modes, restricting the right to travel abroad for the male citizens of Ukraine, decreasing the total amount of international students, reformation and democratization of higher education in Ukraine. Uh, for such challenges, we have other objective six test answers, and for this reason, academic management go to new creative approaches and find the possibilities to survive in such cases and such positions like increasing financial assistance to Ukraine from international programs, foundations, analytical and research centers, and higher educational institutions. Also, great amount of students and staff have international mobility, internet internship abroad for increase the degree of their programs and for evaluate their individual and institutional development. Also, we can speak about the active internationalization of the largest part of projects of Ukraine's have taken part in different field of volunteering. At the same time, academic staff promote some social activities connecting with the creating of high level of European conscientious high level of civil activity and patriotic and European values. Also, despite all of these challenges and socio-economic conditions, Ukraine has made a significant effort to implement changes and advantage of their systems in order to integrate into European higher education area. And I'd like to highlight, to make a conclusion about the general potential possibilities. Some ways and main goals in contemporary time is individual decision making within the framework of the implementation of university autonomy. Like an example, after the beginning of full-scale invasion, some of the universities, most Ukrainian universities stop their educational process, and then they began them under the individual decision of each university. It depends on different circumstances, including safety of the staff and students, including the specific of each territory. And it was a very efficient decision because the staff could work in a distance without any restriction by the administration. Also, we can say that digitalization, which became in a condition of COVID restrictions, they are still the basic tool for functions of the educational space. And we have a lot of results connecting with the electronic system of communication in the condition of impossibility to connect in the current time, and it's help those student and academic staff who are abroad and far from their usual working places to be in an educational process. Also, we can define increased dynamic of internalization, strengthening of academic networking by continuing old and launch new projects of cooperation and collaboration in offline and online formats. Also, we can mention that the very efficient methods of our survival is increased level of activity among researchers and teaching staff as a response of the scientific and teaching community of Ukraine to the challenges of wartime. Many approaches in political science greatly and globally changes after the beginning of full-scale invasion, and that means that we should correct our educational programs from the beginning of Russia's sources and the ending of the rethinking some stereotypes and myths which are created by our enemy. Also, we can mention that rapid adaptation to the educational process to current condition lays down on the dynamic changes of monitoring of their effectiveness, and by different social polls, by monitoring the situation, we can provide the best way of educational process. Also, we develop different civil activities, and only few of them is that the academic society joined the the project of sharing information about the scientific and educational losses which Polish Russia must pay. And this project based on the ways to find out how to restructure the Russia actives to some restructural and rebuilding processes in Ukraine. And I'd like to mention about some CNEO cases and examples of this, creating methods of fighting with the main contemporary threats. For example, our events connected with the Euro integration and integration into civil society processes is participation in different scientific events like round tables. Also, it is the increased level of scientific activity, which is rather increased after the full-scale invasion. And also our project for tell more about the education of youth, training of political leadership, and so-called dialogues of peers, post-war context, where the students or academic staff can speak about their changes of their usual life after the full-scale invasion. Also, we plan some events, and we can invite other representatives to join us by the preparing the scientific monograph political technologies of informational war, domestic and world aspects, and organization of information international conference, which called Contemporary Changes of World Political System, Peace and Military Discussion. Also, I'd like to tell about the experience of some universities who were removed in 2014. For example, Vasily Stus, Donetsk National University, almost 10 years working in Vinnytsia after they removed from the Donetsk. They also have a great amount of results, very open with the academic community, and have the examples of very high level of activities in scientific field. According to the membership of different international groups and societies, and according to civil activities also, they have forced possibilities, forced potential development. And at the end, I would like to tell a few words about the reforming of educational system not ends from the due to full-scale invasion. It still provides numerous reforms, beginning with the primary schools and ending with the high and postgraduate education. And the main purpose of reforms in higher education institution is the competitive workforce with up-to-date knowledge, capable for performing complex of tasks, creating quality, innovative and smart products, and sharing the fair democratic society values. The main goals and objectives of these reforms is setting the basic of financial autonomy of higher education and institution operation, explained use of the state budget, allocation formula for the higher educational institution, changing approaches to university management, the regulation of increasing term and ELS of higher education activities. And mostly these reforms have a goal to integrate into European educational system, like the Bologna process, which Ukraine joined in 2016. And as a result, we have many today's changes. For example, just a few days, the bill about the law of adult education and the training of the dual education against the evening and so-called заочно mode of education. And at the end, we can tell about the new steps of our government and our Ministry of Education and Science, who take a part in European integration process. Ukraine has made progress in a number of important areas over the past year, but we should mention that several outstanding reforms still need to be reinforced. And the main goal of Ukrainian education and science is the integration of Ukraine into the European and world space as a competitive and prosperous state. Due to our success, our joint work in the field of moving to the European Union, we can define few events which can pay attention to our positive perspective and some successful steps. For example, on February 28, in the context of Russia's war against Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky submitted an official application for the Ukraine's accession to the European Union. In April 8 of 2022, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen handed the European Union membership questionnaire to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during her visit to Kyiv. Also in April of 2022, Ukraine has completed the first part of the EU membership questionnaire, and Ukraine shall be required to fulfill political and economic criteria of membership. In June 23 in 2022, Ukraine acquired the status of candidate country for European accession. And a few days ago, we can tell that new steps were doing by the assign of not assign, by declare the possibility to be a candidate for a European Union membership. And to an end, I'd like to say that for today, Ukrainian people is joined all together and academic society also joined after the idea that Ukrainian-Russian war is not only a war between two countries, it's also the struggle for choose to be a democratic or be an authoritarian country. And academic staff realize that we fight not only for the independence of our country, but also for pluralism of approaches in political science, possibility to find out and to choose any way and any position of individual thinking, of freedom of speech and the ideas. That's why we believe that we can achieve our goals as quick as possible, and we thank European society for its support and help. Thank you for your attention, and it's time for your question, please.
Oh, I haven't question maybe, Юрий Анатольевич. Wow, I see amazing presentations, sure, I think. I don't think what I can plus to this.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can find some mistakes because it's not correct by any professional person who can mark all the incorrect legs or incorrect grammar. If you're attentive, maybe you find some mistakes.
I see more. I see more. How with all my attention, yes, and I don't find it. If I think.
Okay, thank you. Maybe some questions to have like to make it possible for me to have some preparation according to this report. What would you ask if you be a European student or European professor? What could you ask?
Я
I
спитав
see
вже.
that everything is correct for you because you are living such condition, but imagine that you know nothing about Ukrainian situation, or know very short piece of information. What could you ask?
Maybe what they think about us. I don't know how to say it. How they think about our methods in political science. Yes, we know in on the start this lection. Yes, we speak about how they learned political science, which methods they used, and we see that they use are more calculate maybe methods, I think this one. What about the якісні? Yes, якісні методи, да? I forgot how to say it. And the role in the political science, which more maybe which methods more values, I think. It's important for me. Because we are right as our bachelor work, yes, and I want to know how do it more like European students. Thank you.
Thank you for this question. I think both of the methods and context and quantitative have its own role. Quantitative methods we use for highlight, for illustrate some facts, and the context methods we use for explain our point of view, our opinion. According to the academic freedom, principle of academic freedom, nobody can pressure and says that only one kind of methods we can use. They are useful as a complex, as a joining them all together. And for political science, in the condition of subjective opinion, different point of view according to our our conscientiousness, our values, our civilization, circumstance, and situation is rather different for each person. It's very quickly changes. That's why political science couldn't be only quantitative. It's always the place for point of view and for different approaches to each idea, to each position, each even term. We can define any term in political science exactly and speak about that. It is political culture, for example, it's this one and not another. All the authors have their own definition of political culture and other terms. And it is a reason to speak about the possibility to rejoin all the methods. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah.
Who can else ask any questions? Okay, if you have not mood to any conversations, I will thank you for